சார் இந்த மவுஸ் எங்கே சார் இங்கே காணோம்? ஆமாம், நேற்று இருந்துச்சு இங்கே. என்ன ஆனா மாட்டேங்குது, பிளிங்க் ஆகுது. Good day students, this is Murugesh, technical trainer, Navodaya Institute of Technology, Raichur. Today's session will be on object-oriented programming. Object So today's session will be on object-oriented programming, and hope everybody have come across this term object-oriented programming, or OOP, or sometimes they call it as OOPS. Okay, all the same. Okay, so what is object? Basically, object-oriented programming. The first ever object-oriented programming is something called as Simula and also Smalltalk. Both are the first object-oriented programming languages, and after that only C++, Java, Python, everything came. Okay, so there are nowadays all the programming languages are object-oriented programming, because it has some unique features that everybody, all the software engineers should know before they design their software, okay, or build a software product. They have to know about object-oriented programming concepts. Okay, so let us discuss about the object-oriented programming concepts today. So first thing is object. What is an object? What is a class? So object and class you need to know. So you all know that object is an instance of a class. Okay, you might have known that definition. Object is what? Instance of a class. And what is a class? Class is a template, just a template to create object. Okay, so you should link these two terms. First you need to create a class in order to create an object. Okay, so for one class you can create multiple objects. Say for instance we will all the traditional classical example is student class. We all create student class and or teacher class or any real time use. See, object is something which we see, what we see in our natural eyes is all objects. We see only objects. Okay, so objects, in our eyes we see objects. Okay, so in order to create objects we need to first create a class in terms of programming languages. Okay, so if we create one class, then we can create multiple number of objects. Okay, any number of objects we can create. The example is student class we create, and obviously you might have seen, you will not see one student in a college or in a school. You will see multiple n number of students in a class, isn't it? Like what we see here is, here we are 60 students are sitting in the lab. In front of me 60 students are sitting, and we create one class called a student class and create 60 unique objects. Okay, because each student will have a unique name, mark, date of birth, email ID, like that. Okay, so each one is unique. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. So hope you understood, right? I will give you I will show you an example in Java or Python. I will show you, but right now we will discuss only theory. Okay, so class, we create, first thing is we create a class. Okay, how to create a class we will see later. Okay, and after you created a class, then we can create number of objects for that class, and objects are the one going to take memory. Okay, objects are the one going to take memory. Okay, excuse me. So how objects takes memory means, in order to store the student information, we create memory. Okay, once you create an instance of a class, means a memory is reserved to store the values that are related to that object. Because when you say, take example, Vinod is sitting there, so I wanted to store Vinod details. Okay, name, father name, his class, his mark, his date of birth, his phone number, likewise. Next, Devi is sitting, and Devi's details I have to store. Like that, each one of the students' details I have to store. For that, we need to, it has to be stored in the memory. Why we store that in the memory? Because we need to process them. We need to take a report of the marks of the students and submit it to our principal. Like that, we will do it. Okay. So for that only objects takes memory. Okay. So from the memory, the data values, we take it and we process it and produce reports. Okay. So that is the end result of we will see. End result of these of studying these things is to generate reports or submit it to our superiors. We need to do these activity. Okay. Hope you understood. So object and class, now I think you should be clear. Okay. So these are the two major concepts that you have to learn first in object-oriented programming. Next we will go to the other concepts like encapsulation, And moreover, I forgot to tell you, let me tell you one thing. And class, when I say a class, class is a combination of two things. One is data, other one is methods. Data and methods. Yes, okay? Sit down. Ramesh, sit down. Why did you come late to the class? Sit down. Sit in the class. Sir. Where is your notebook? Sit down. No, class is going on.
Staff register, sir.
In that cupboard. Third cupboard.
This one, sir.
Yes. No, third cupboard. Not that cupboard, next cupboard.
Please come, sir.
Oh no, stock register is here. It is the stand. I will give you later. Go. We are recording now. You cannot take it. Is this?
Now director sir ask sir. What can I call?
I will bring it. I will finish. Class is. This is going to chairman.
Sir, immediately.
Sir, the director sir, my director has told me to record the session, and now you are disturbing me.
Sir.
It is the stand for me in the.
Yes, sir, correct, sir. What director sir will ask sir.
Okay, wait. Bring another notebook, big notebook. No. Big it. And that too. Not a book, Java, Python book, big, nah. You bring that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Take it, sir.
Stand the receptionist.
Sorry for the disturbance. Let me continue. So class is a combination of two things. First one is data and methods. Data we all know. We also call as data members and member functions or methods. Okay, member functions or methods. Both are same. Okay, data members are methods and methods. Okay, so class will be having only these two things. Okay, so data members represent characteristics and methods represent behavior. And class, why we create? Because we need to store data in objects. So objects. So when we create a class, and then after we created a class, we create object instances. These object instances will have only these two things. Either they will have two things: characteristics of that particular object, behavior of that particular object. Let me tell you what is characteristics. Say student is there, student name, student ID, student date of birth, phone number, address. These are all characteristics. Student behavior. Say you have a data member called as student mark. Okay. Imagine we are conducting Navodaya entrance exam, all India level entrance exam, and for that every student will obtain a mark, and based on that mark we need to produce the selection list. Okay. So in that case, each and every student will write an exam, and then they will obtain a mark, and that mark will be something like, say I have a data member called as student mark, and student has obtained 50 mark. One student has obtained 75 mark. One student have obtained 100 out of 100. Okay. So we will create a selection list. Based on that selection list, we will admit the students. Okay. So this is something, a behavior of each and every student changes. The mark will, every student will not get the same mark. Each and every student will not get the same mark. The mark will be different. Okay. So that is what behavior means, because behavior means like the way I do things is unique. Okay. And the way another teacher teaches is also unique. Okay. So each one is having their own unique behavior. So that is why it varies from one teacher to teacher, one student to student. Okay. Behavior varies, and the object's behavior varies from one object to another object. It varies. Okay. That is what we are going to model it. Okay. Hope you understood. And how do we do this behavior? Using methods. We will write methods and we will create data members. That is one activity that you have to do. You have to identify an object, and you have to create a class, and then you have to store values for that by writing a program. Okay, either in Java or Python. Okay, so that is an activity that you will do it after this class. Okay, all right. Next thing is, so now I hope everybody have understood what is a class, what is an object, why we create object, why we create a class, definition for a class, everything you might have understood right now. So next concept is encapsulation. So encapsulation is a term. We have got something called as capsule. What is a capsule? A capsule is something like a medicine, where medicine is inside the capsule. You get it in medical shop, and inside that capsule there will be medicine. And like that, encapsulation means binding the data and methods into one unit is called as encapsulation, and that is, we do it with the help of class. Okay. So when we create a class, what we do is we bind the data and methods into one unit and give it a name as student, teacher, a generalized name. Okay. We should not give write a class for Vinod, not like that. Okay. Because we know this object. Okay. And if you say who is Vinod, Vinod is a student. If you ask who is Murugesh, Murugesh is a teacher, is a trainer. Like that, we have to create teacher or student class. Not in the name of, the naming convention is another important thing that you have to take care. Okay, because these are all real-time entity. Okay. So slowly you have to learn things. You refer the internet, books, and in your free time you can come here and work, make use of the facilities. Okay. So class, as I told you, data and methods. When you bind them together into one unit in class, and it is called as encapsulation. Okay? Next, after this encapsulation, we have something called as polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Poly means, in Greek, it is called as many. Morphism means forms, many forms. And what is many forms? Say for instance, in real time, okay, first let me go into the subject, then I will. Method over loading is an example of polymorphism. Method overloading. What is method overloading means? Creating more than one method with the same name but different in number of parameters and type of parameters is called as method overloading. Means we will write the same method but the number of parameters will be different and the parameters type, data type will be different. Okay. So that is called as method overloading. So why we do that? Because say for instance, you create something called as draw. Draw is a, or shape. Shape is a class. Okay. And you have draw method. Okay. Draw is a method. Shape is a class. Class name is shape. And draw is a method. Draw is a method. Okay. You know there are different shapes. Even here we have lot of shapes. You see there is a circle. And there is a triangle. There is a rectangle. There is a parallelogram. Okay. So these are all different shapes. Okay. But how did I draw? How will I draw? In real time, how will I draw? If I want to draw a circle means I have to give a radius. If I want to draw a rectangle means I have to give a height and width. If I want to draw a triangle means again I have to give height and width. Okay, so that I will get a rectangle. Sorry, triangle. Okay. So like this, by having different, but everything is I'm going to draw. Or all are generally called as shapes. Okay. So this is something called as method overloading. Okay. I create a draw method, but pass different number of parameters and different type of parameters to it, and it will automatically create different shapes. That is the motive. Okay. I hope this example you understood. Are you clear with this example? There is one more polymorphism example that is called as method over riding. And this is, we do it in inheritance. Inheritance we do this. Okay, not now we have not covered inheritance, so we need not worry about it. So method overloading is, write down the definition in your notebook. Creating more than one form of the same method but different in number of parameters and the type of parameters. Okay. For instance, this draw method, if I want to draw a circle, I will say int P1. Okay, P1 is parameter 1. So I need to give the radius. Okay. To draw a rectangle, I have to say again the draw method and pass two parameters, P1 or else height and width, okay, in P2. P1 is height and P2 is width. So I will get what? A rectangle. And for again triangle, I have to give two parameters. Okay, like this I create the name of the method is draw. And what it is going to do, it is going to create two different shapes. First draw method will create a circle, and second one will create a rectangle. Like this we can give many examples, but right now we will stop with this example alone, and then we will see the next concept. Okay, so polymorphism you all understood, and we will move on to the next topic. Next topic is called as inheritance. Okay, inheritance is a very, very important topic. Inheritance. See, inheritance, these topics are all real-time topics. Okay, so as human beings, we all inherit. Okay, like I inherit from my parents, and they inherit from their parents, like that. Okay, and I inherit from my parents and my grandparents also. Okay, this is a real-time inheritance. But in the programming also we do the same thing. What we do is we will write one class C1, and another class C2.
Yes sir, coming sir, on the way sir, on the way.
So C2 is called as a derived class, and C1 is called as a superclass. Okay, because C1 is not derived from anything, it is a superclass, and C2 is going to derive the attributes from C1. Okay, and what it will do, it will derive all the attributes, and also it will add some more attributes to itself. Okay, say for instance, like in real time, what I do is I inherit like the color, the type of hair, the height, everything. It's genetic. We say genetic, right? So like that I inherit, and I also inherit sometimes from the parents, like the property. Okay, like parents' property we inherit, and we add some more property to ourselves. Okay, like when you work, you will get money, and you add some properties, and your children will inherit from you. Okay, it goes on. It is going on. It's like that. Okay, and this is called a single inheritance. When I have only two classes, it is single inheritance. When I have three classes, it is called as class C2, C3. Okay, if I have something called as class C3, class C1 is a superclass, C2 inherit from C1, and C3 inherit from C2. Okay, so this is first level of inheritance, and this is the second level of inheritance. So this is called as multi-level inheritance. Okay, and say for instance, I will have something called as class C1, 2. Okay, means this class is going to inherit also from C1, and this class is also going to inherit from C1. Okay, both the classes are going to inherit. Something like if you have a brother or sister at home, and your parents are sick, okay, and both will inherit from the same parent. Similar to that. Okay, and this type of inheritance is called as it's not multiple. Multiple means different. Multi-level, multiple, single, hierarchical, hybrid. Like that we have many type of inheritance. Okay. Okay. Another type of inheritance is something like I write two classes. Class C1 1, 3, 13. Okay. And C2 inherits from C1 and also C13. This is called as multiple inheritance. When a class has two superclasses, okay, when a class is derived from two superclasses, then it is called as multiple inheritance. And multiple inheritance is not possible directly in Java. It is through other forms we can do it. Through interfaces we can do multiple inheritance. Okay. And hierarchical inheritance is something like there will be hierarchy. There is a superclass, there is a subclass, there is a subclass. It is in hierarchy levels. Okay. And hybrid inheritance is if you have more than one type of inheritance in the same hierarchy, okay, same picture, then it is called as hybrid. Say you have something like single inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, then you have more than one form of the inheritance in the same structure, so it is called as hybrid. Hybrid is something like you have seen a cars with petrol engine and also electric vehicle. It is both dual. Okay. Whenever there is electricity, you go. That is battery backup is there. Car will move on in battery. When the battery is finished, then you put diesel or petrol. Then car will move on. Which is a hybrid cars. We say it is a hybrid cars. Similar to that. Okay. So these are some of the important concepts that we discussed today. Class, object, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance. Then you have data abstraction, data hiding. These two are left out. Data abstraction is nothing but that is the activity. Okay, data abstraction. And data hiding is through through the public-private protected. Through those keywords we do data hiding. Okay, private is strictly private, means you cannot access those members outside the class. Access modifiers, they are called as access modifiers. Nowadays you have also another access modifier called as default. And abstraction is something like an activity, like we will list out all the things, then we pick out only the important things that are necessary. Okay, we will narrow it down. Okay, that is an abstraction. So like this, I have wanted you to identify a real-time object and identify the data members and methods for that object and create a class, and then after creating a class, create object in Java. This is the activity that you are going to do now. Hope you all understood this. Now you can do the activity, and if you have stuck up, you call me, I will help you out. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.